Yes, my name is Divya Sivaparama from Diploma in Healthcare Management. Today I am going to present our peculiarities of lifespan development on the stage of early adulthood. I would like to start with introduction. The life stage called early adulthood defines individual between the age of 20 and 35 who are active and healthy and are focused on friendship, romance, childbearing, and careers. Early adulthood is a career time in a person's life. Individuals face a variety of problems of their lives. A range of developmental demands are imposed during this time. People must mature, separate from their family, acquire money, advance in their career, and of course start a family and raise children. Through all of these responsibilities are the numbers of challenges and stage. Adulthood is for most people the time of peak physical capacity. Young adults are those who are in the 20s and 30s. Our body are finished growing but our brains are still developing. Physically they are in their prime of life with their reproductive system, motor ability, strength and lung capacity at the peak. The human system response time and ability to recover rapidly from physical activities are all affected. Indeed, studies suggest that the behavior we form in our 20s are linked to specific health issues in middle age, including the risk of heart disease. Maintaining a lean body mass index, moderate alcohol use, a smoke-free lifestyle, a balanced diet, and frequency physical activities are all examples of healthy habit. When asked to pick one thing young adults should do to improve their health, learning to cook, minimizing sugar intake, having an active lifestyle, eating vegetable, and establish an exercise. Second category in physical development is substance misuse, which peak in early adulthood. As an impact on violence, death rates, some young adults turn to drugs and alcohol to cope the stress from their family's personal relationship or worries of being alone. Another use because they have friends who do, and there is still a lot of pressure to conform in their early 20s. The rates of alcohol and substance misuse among youth moving to adulthood are among the highest. Another factor that influence rates include race and region. Races and abuse may also play a role. Drugs change mood and impair judgment, all of which can lead to harmful behavior. Some instances include reckless driving and forced sexual encounter. Because people are more prone to unsafe sexual behavior while under the influence of drugs and alcohol, they increase the risk of sexual transmit infection. Individuals who in each in risky sexual behavior are more likely to contract sexual transmitted disease, including the human HIV. The third category in physical development is sexual responsiveness. At a different age, man and woman attain their peak sexual response. Sexual arousal can be triggered by the physical stimulation or daydreaming. Although a guy may remain sexually active through adulthood, sexual receptivity tends to wane in his late 20s and 30s. To become aroused, a man may demand more intense stimulation over time. Human sexual responsiveness often increases throughout their 20s and 30s, peaking in their late 30s or early 40s. This is most likely related to increased self-confidence and less sexual inhibition. In addition, cognitive development is a growth of a child's ability to think and reason. Although there are wide individual difference in attainment, most young adults are able to deal with cognitive tasks in a more abstract way than before and to attain solution to problems by comparing possible explanation. This difference in adult and adolescent truth can spark argument between the generation. Here is an example. A student in a late 30s relate such an argument she was having with a 40 years old son. The son had put up a substantial sum of money and planned to purchase an old car and keep it in the garage until he was old enough to drive. He could sit in it and pretend to drive it, then clean it up and show it to his buddy. It sounds like the ideal situation. The mother, on the other hand, had a practical concern. The car would simply sit there for years and rotting. By the time he was old enough to drive, the son could have changed his mind about the type of automobile he wants, and they will be stuck with a car that will not start. Take theory of cognitive development hand with formal operation, but it is possible that others' way of thinking may develop after a post-formal operations in adulthood, even if this thinking does not constitute a separate stage of development. Post-formal thought is a practical, realistic, and more individual but also character by understanding the complex of various perspectives. Furthermore, in Paris, William Perry, a Harvard University undergraduate student, developed one of the early theories of cognitive development in early adulthood. According to Perry, student cognition shift from dualism and absolute black and white, right and wrong, thinking to multiplicity, recognizing that some problems are solvable and some answers are unknown to relativism. Understanding the importance of specific context of knowledge, all it is related to other factors. Over the course of their college years, this shift to thinking in early adulthood is influenced by educational experience similar to formal operationally thinking in adolescence. Theoretical thought is thinking in early adulthood may become more fluid and balanced in addition to shifting toward more practical issues. Abstract notion that the adolescence frame belief in may become the criteria by which the individual essential reality. Adolescence, according to Paris research, this is a absolute or dichotomist thinks that truth or untruth, good or bad, right or wrong, and there is no intermediate ground. However, thought, knowledge, and experience, the young adult learn that there are certain aspects of each position that are correct and other that are incorrect because few opinions, ideas, situations, or people are fully correct or incorrect. This type of thinking is more realistic. Some adults may be able to go beyond Paris relativistic or contextual thinking by combining key components of two competing opinions or positions, synthesizing them, and coming up with a new concept. Dialectical thought is the term used to describe one of the most advanced forms of forceful thinking. From a psychoanalytic Pacific, Erickson sees the dominant focus on this stage has the development of intimacy and the ability to love and trust another person. Intimacy requiring that an independent person give up some of the independence and refined his or her identity to include the interest of other. All of the adult life is a dance of intimacy and independence. They include differing needs for connection, fears of or being overwhelmed, and it is a challenging work in progress. People who have achieved intimacy are completely tolerant and accepting of difference. They can accept in times of aloneness without fears of loneliness. If there is too great a sense of isolation, there will be fears of forming close ties due to fears of losing identity or freedom. These people are more competitive than comparative, easily treated if other gets too close and not accepting of others' difference. In social-emotional development, young adults face some formidable developmental tasks. Studying, employment, and unemployment each present stress. At the same time, young adults tend to be finding their way through the world of romance, which can also lead to stress and argues. All of this happen alongside change in relationship with parents and the increasing expectation that the young person will take responsibility for their own life. Several different theories have been put forward to account the personal development during early adulthood. During the early adult transitions age 70 to 22, most people contract a dream and image of themselves in the adult world that will guide their decision making. The more specific the dream, the more motivating it is. Men's dreams often entail success in business and career. Men's dreams are more individualistic. Women's dreams usually define self in terms of relationship with others. A relationship with a mentor with facilitate realizing their dreams. This is someone older and more experienced in the world a person want to enter. They teach occupational skills and encourage the person as well as help him or her in networking and finding opportunity. This is the followed by the age 30 transition, which the server time to relevate their life structure. If the person is still single, she or he will begin looking for a partner. Women who had in a marriage and childbearing may begin to set more individualistic goals. The rest of this decade 33 to 40 age is the settling down period where the people have usually found their niche in life and are striving to consolidate their professional and domestic roles. They are basically getting their lives in order. Settling down for men's means focusing on certain relationship and aspiration and leaving others behind. Continuous established for women. Accurate as a human often get sidetracked from a professional focus by child-rearing and family responsibility. Yearly attachment bonds set as an internal working model or expectations about love figures. The describes the love relationship as trusting, happy, and their partners as a friend. Secure attachment, likable, open to others, comfortable with intimacy, with a few fears of intimacy. Avoidance attachment history demanding disrespectful and critical parents. In conclusion, early adulthood is a very critical moment in everyone's life. The conflict of intimacy versus isolation can have a devastating outcome. The individual does not have the maturity to make a calm and decisions.